Hey everyone, this is Mukesh Otwani once again from learn-automation.com. Today in this video, we are going to talk about how you can execute your Cypress test on LambdaTest. Now, if you're completely new to LambdaTest, then I would highly recommend you to watch this video which I recorded a few months back. In this video, I discussed a lot of things about LambdaTest. What is LambdaTest? What are the different product offerings they have? How you can get started? How to create account? How to get username? How to get access keys? And bunch of other things. So this video will give you detail about LambdaTest. And if you do not have any account, then I will be sharing one link in the description. So go ahead, create your own account so that you can start exploring LambdaTest. LambdaTest supports multiple programming languages and multiple popular framework. So the last video which we discussed about was Selenium. This video is focusing on Cypress. Now this video will be divided into two parts. Part 1 will be focusing on how you can get started with Cypress. So let's say if you're completely new to Cypress, part 1 will help you to set up Cypress test locally. Part 2 will be how we can execute Cypress test on LambdaTest. So let's begin, and I will show you step-by-step process how you can get started till the final execution. Now let's continue with the Cypress installation. Now for this demo, I'm using Mac machine, but if you're using Windows, Linux, the process will remain same. Now before we begin, we have to see some prerequisite or the software requirement. So for this, let me show you the official documentation. So if you refer official documentation of Cypress, which is docs.cypress.io, and if you come to getting started and check this installing Cypress. So first of all, make sure you have Node.js installed on your local system. Right now I'm using Mac, so if I use terminal and if I show you my Node version. So let's type node space -- version. So at the time of recording, current version which I have in my local system is 18.18.0. So if you have older versions, then please update your Node version, which is Node.js. You have to install latest version. And if you go with the documentation, if you come back to the system requirement, the moment you talk about OS, you can use macOS 10.9 and above, Linux Ubuntu 20.04 and above, and Windows 10 and above. So I'm using Mac, so that is fine. Talking about Node.js, minimum version is 18.x or 20.x and above. I'm using 18.18.0. Now when it comes to hardware and memory, not much requirement. Even if you have 4 GB minimum, it will work, but recommended 8 GB plus you should have. Now let's talk about the commands that you need to execute. I'm using VS Code. Okay, so this is the VS Code right now I have, and I need to create a fresh project so that I can install Cypress. So right now I created one folder called YouTube videos. You can create any folder, and I'm going to create one new folder now, and let me give this as Cypress tutorials. Now I want to open this folder here, so I can click on open folder, go to my documents, YouTube videos, and Cypress tutorial. So this is the folder which I created just now. I will quickly open that particular folder. Now I will also go to the same folder which we created. So I will say cd documents, and then we created this YouTube videos folder, and I created this folder called Cypress tutorials. So if I type pwd, right now we are in the same folder. Now process is quite easy. You just need to run this command, which is npm install cypress --save -dev. But before we do that, make sure you execute this npm init command so that it will create a package.json file which will have all the information about your project. So before we execute this command, let's say I want to execute this. Now let's type npm init and hit enter. Now it will ask you a couple of information. If you want to provide this information, you can provide all this information. I'm going to press enter. It will take the default values. In our case, package name by default, it will take Cypress tutorial version 1.0.0. So if you want to override these values, you can pass these values. Right now I will just hit enter till the last, and it will ask me finally, is this okay? And I will say yes. Now if you come back here, this is package.json file which is created, and if you want to see this file, so it's opening in Firefox. Let me open. Okay, it's opening here. So basically it has all the same information: name, version, description, main index.js file, script. Right now this is just a echo command which we will modify, author and the licensing detail. Now once your package.json file is ready, now you can go ahead with the installation part. Again, for this, go back to the documentation and just execute this command. So again, let me clear this and I will simply copy paste. The moment you hit enter, you might come across this permission denied if you're using Linux or Mac. So I have to run a sudo command, but if you already logged in as a root user, you don't need to do this. So I will use sudo first and then I will enter this command. That will ask for the password. Let me enter the password. This is my local system password. The moment I hit enter, that will take a couple of seconds and the Cypress will be installed. So it's taking some time, it will download, and once the download will complete, we'll resume this video. Perfect. It took almost 2 minutes and it completely installed Cypress. So you can see added 183 packages, audited 184 packages in 2 minutes, and so on. Now once your Cypress is done, if you come back to Studio, VS Studio, you will find all the node modules has been added. We already have package.json file. Now once you're done with this, go back to the official documentation and come down. So you can use either npm or you can use yarn. We already used npm, so no need of this. Now once you are done, you have to open Cypress. So come to the next step, open the app, and you can use this command called npx cypress open. So let me copy this command and paste here. Again, I will be using sudo. So since this is the new version which I'm using first time, so it says it looks like you are using this first time, Cypress 13.6.3 verified Cypress, and it's opening. It opened in my secondary monitor, so let me drag and drop here. So this will be the welcome page which says welcome to Cypress, and now you can do E2E testing, which is end-to-end testing, or you can use component testing. We'll go with E2E testing. Now the next step is it is giving you all these configuration files. So you can see we have a Cypress config.js file. We have a support folder where you can see E2E.js file. We also have one more file in the same folder which is command.js, and this is one fixture folder where we have some example.json file. Click on continue. Now it will ask you to select which browser you want to use. You can use Chrome, Edge, Electron. Let me select Chrome, and it started this. So now it is asking you create your first spec file. Now you can use some examples that is already predefined, or you can create a new spec file. So if I go with the existing spec files which we have, so if I click on this, it is going to import all these sample files. Okay, these are predefined spec files which is already created for our tutorials for exploration. So I'm going to click on OK. I got it, and I got all these sample spec files in my project. So if you come here, we got this E2E, and inside this E2E you will find one is getting started, and these are advanced examples. Now it doesn't matter, you can create your own scripts or you can use this predefined sample ones, because these predefined sample one will give you more clarity that what are the different features is available. In your case, you will be having your fresh spec file that you will be running locally first. Once that is working fine, and then if you want to run on the different browser and OS combination, then you will be running on LambdaTest. Now before we integrate this with LambdaTest, I want to make sure that Cypress is running locally. So what I will do, I will go back to terminal and I will stop this for the time being. Okay, clear this, and let me use Cypress CLI commands to execute all the spec file which we have. Now let me run all these spec files. So I will write sudo npx cypress run. The moment I hit enter, it will scan all the spec files that is available in my current project, and it will execute all of them in headless mode. So the moment I hit enter, again it will ask for password. So let me enter my local password, and now you can see it started running all my tests. So it will take a couple of seconds depends on the number of tests. So if I'm not wrong, it has around 134 tests. So let me pause this video. Once all the test is done, then we'll resume this video. Perfect. So it executed all the spec files. So while running, it detected 20 spec files. It executed all of them. So you can see 2 of 20, 3 of 20, and like this it executed all the spec files. And if you come down, you will see the final summary. Final summary is here. So run finished, total spec files. It detected todo.cy.js, action.cy.js, and it is giving you the timing 6 tests. Basically in this spec file we have 6 tests. In this spec file we have 14 tests. Like this it executed all our files. Total execution 124, successfully executed 123, and 1 failure, which is this. It means now everything is working fine. So this is the part 1 of this video, where we have installed Cypress first, then we have executed all our Cypress tests, and we are able to run locally. Now let's move to the part 2 of this video, where we will be running the same test on LambdaTest. So for this, you need to refer one official documentation, and all these links that I'm referring I will give you in the description of this video for easy navigation. Now let's follow the documentation. So prerequisite is you can clone this repository and you can use the samples which LambdaTest have created, or you can go with the sample test which we got from by default with Cypress, or if you have your own test you can run the same thing. Now this is a very important repository. So if I show you this in a dedicated tab, you will see step by step how we have to integrate Cypress with LambdaTest. So let's go ahead with the prerequisite. First part is the cloning. Since we are using our own repository, which we create our own folder and we have own spec file, so this step is already done. Next is we have to go to that particular folder where the code is available. In our case we are already in the same folder. Now most important part, you have to install one separate package which is LambdaTest Cypress CLI. So this package we will install. So you can copy this, make sure you're in the same directory. Again I will be using sudo, hit enter, and let me enter my password. Now it is installing that package which is LambdaTest Cypress CLI, and yes, total 206 packages changed and we are good to go. Now step number 3 will be setup configuration. So basically we install this package, right? Now we are going to run this command which will help you to create the configuration file, and in this configuration file we can mention all the configuration, like on which browser we want to execute, on which platform we want to execute, and multiple options. So again I will copy and paste. So you can see it says picking the default config file name LambdaTest config.json file. So if you open the Visual Studio, you will see one separate configuration file is ready, and this is the most important part of this video. So please watch this carefully. The first part is where you have to provide the authentication detail. So the moment you log into LambdaTest, this will be your dashboard. Okay, so in case if you're not on this page, the moment you log in you will be on the dashboard. Come to automation and then click on web automation, and you will be on this page. So we will be running our Cypress test and you will see soon in this particular dashboard. Now in order to get the access key, you can see one option here on the right hand side, access key. This is the username and this is the access key. In your case username access key will be different. So I will copy this username and I will mention here. Then the second part is the access key. I will copy and I will mention here. So after this video I will change this access key. You cannot use it, so make sure you use your own username and the access key. Now you can see now we have the different browser and the platform section. When I will run this particular Cypress test, it will run my test on Chrome browser as of now. Obviously we can change this, which I will show you now how to change. As of now, with the default configuration, it will run on the Chrome browser. Platform will be Windows 10 and the version will be latest -1. Right now I'm recording, let's say the current version is 121. It will take 121 -1. Let's say when you are running it is 124, 125 for example. it will take latest -1. Now this is a separate object where we are saying we want to run Firefox Windows 10 version latest -1. Now the next part is run setting. In the run setting, you will see one option called spec. Now you need to provide the path of the Cypress spec files that you want to execute. So suppose you want to run to.cy.js, you want to run cookies.cy.js, you can basically give the path and you can give the relative path as well. Let's say you want to execute multiple spec file which is matching with this pattern, you can do that. So this is what I'm going to modify now. By default, I will keep as of now parallel equal to 1. Build name, I will change this to Cypress build. And this spec file I will change the path. See, right now I am already in this Cypress tutorials folder. I want to execute, let's say, this todo.cy.js file. So I can mention the path here. So if I type, maybe I can copy this location. Okay. So if I say copy path and paste here, so this is giving me the complete path. I don't need the complete path because we are already here, right? Cypress tutorial. I want, go to Cypress folder, go to E2E folder, go to this folder which is one getting started, and now I want to run this particular spec file. Once you modified all these changes, now it's time to execute. Now to execute, you have to use a different command. So when we were running locally, we were using npx cypress run. Now since we are running on LambdaTest, if you go back to the documentation, come to this section called running your Cypress test on LambdaTest, you will see one command that we have to execute, which is LambdaTest -cypress space run. So copy this command and come back to terminal, and since you're on the same working directory, I will simply paste this command and hit enter. Now when you're doing this first time, definitely you will come across this error, and I will tell you how to fix it. First, it checks the lambda config in the current directory, which we already have validated. Then it's showing one error called Cypress config file does not exist. It means it is trying to find some config file which does not exist. So if we come to this config file, which is config.json file, so it's trying to find this cypress.json file in this particular directory which is not available. Another file which is base_reporter_config.json file which is available here, right? Since we don't have this file as of now, I will remove it. That is the first change that you have to make. Second change is, right now it is taking 9.6 and the version that we are using is 13.6.3. So you can take this particular version and update here. Save this file. Now once you're done, come back to terminal again and execute the last command. Now pay attention, the moment I execute, it should reflect on this particular dashboard. So hit enter. You can see it's uploading the project, uploaded successfully. And if you come back here, it started executing our build. So the build name that we gave was Cypress-build, right? So if you come here, this is the build name. Right now we have given parallel 1, and right now we have two different combination, right? One is with Chrome Windows 10, one is Firefox with Windows 10. So we have two sessions, but since one parallel is given, only one is getting executed and the remaining one will get executed once this one is done. So if you open this, right now it is running on Firefox Windows 10. Once this is done, then it will pick the second one. So two sessions, one processing, and once this is done, it will run on Chrome Windows 10. So you can see now the same todo.cy.js file executed on two different combination, and both is successful. So if I open this one, I can see all the commands which got executed, and if you see, the video recording is also available. And same thing you will see for the Firefox as well. So it's opening the session, it's running our test. Yes, completed. Same thing it will be done for Firefox as well. Now let me make few more changes, because right now the two combinations and parallel is equal to 1. Now if you want to use different combinations, you can also check their capability generator. The moment you click on this help section, click on capability generator, and which programming language we want to use. Let's say we want to use Node.js. Now it is giving you all the different framework that you can select: Nightwatch, WebDriver IO, Test Cafe. I'm going to use Cypress as of now. So this is all we have already done, right? Now let's say I want to go with Chrome latest version, which is 121. So you can see this version 121.0. So if I come back here, I will take one more object. This is one JSON object. I will copy, paste here. This time I will give the version as 121.0. So I will go with the three combinations, okay, but you can select any different browser versions and the platform versions, and it will be updated accordingly. Yeah. So now let's execute this particular file, which is tutu.cy.js file. Will be running on three different combinations: Chrome, Windows 10, Firefox, Windows 10, Firefox, Windows 10 with 121 version. Go with any combination which is supported. This time I will change the parallel from 1 to 3 because I want to run parallelly. If you set parallel equal to 1, so this spec file will get executed first on one browser and device combination, one browser and OS combination, then we'll go to the second and the third. If I select parallel equal to 3, all three will run parallelly. Now depends on the pricing plan, how many parallel sessions are supported to you. You can change the numbers accordingly. So come back, I will clear this and execute once again. Now it's uploading the project. Come back, and yes, you can see all the three sessions are running parallelly, all these three. So Windows 10, 10, 10, 10, and these are the sessions which is running. It will take some time. In the meanwhile, let's say if I go with configure Windows 11, you just need to change from 10 to 11 and it will work as expected. So let's wait for the execution. All are running. Once it is done, you will see either pass or fail. So all text executed, you can see pass, pass, pass. So let's say if I want to see the details, so these are all the commands, and this is how you will get the recordings. So right now if you see networks, logs, metadata, smart UI, you can enable all of them. So in the run setting, you can just make network : true. Right now it is set to false. If you make it true, you can capture the network logs as well. So yeah, let's see the recording once again. And the same thing you will get for the different two executions as well. So quite easy integration. So let me give a quick recap. In the part 1, we installed Cypress and we executed the spec file locally. Once it is working, then we followed this document. First thing that we did is basically we installed this package, which is LambdaTest-Cypress-CLI. Once that package is installed successfully, then we executed this command, which is init. It gave us LambdaTest config.json file, and we modified this file. We modified the username, we modified the access key, and we have given the different combinations that you need. We also identified it was looking for one cypress.json file. We removed it. We changed the build name, number of parallels, which is spec file you want to run, and I also changed that we want to see the network log. We also updated the version, which is Cypress 13.66.3, and finally we executed via this command, which is LambdaTest-Cypress run, and you will see all the result on the dashboard. And if you're completely new to LambdaTest, if you do not have any account right now, I will give you a link in the description. Go ahead, create your account and try running your existing test on LambdaTest, whether it's Selenium, Cypress, Playwright, WebDriver IO. All the famous and frequently used frameworks are supported. Browsers, device combinations are supported, so you can change as per your requirement. Please give a shot from your side. If you face any issue, let me know in the comment section, and I will try to make another video if you face any issue. So that's all from my side. I hope you enjoyed this session. If yes, then do share with your friends, colleague, and I will see you in the next video. Till then, bye bye, take care.